Good morning. I have decided I think I'm gonna start like a little series of like a car vlog, just because I like to be in my car, and I'm usually just always in my car or on the boat, or at the gym. But anyway, yeah, I hope everyone has a good week this week. Let's see, what can we talk about in the car today? Oh, I've decided that I want to start like a new series, like, well, not even, I haven't even done a series yet, but I've decided that I want to do like a little series where it's called like Your Testimony, because everyone has a testimony, everyone has a different testimony, and no one's story is the same. And I think that's what's interesting about people, is just that we all come up differently, we all have different backgrounds, and we all have just a different story. So I could talk about me first, but I always talk about me. I guess I could give a rundown on like my testimony. I just don't want it to be long. Let's see. So most of you know that like I've grown up in the church, and you know, since from the age I was born to basically till when I left for Hawaii, I've gone to church my whole life. And then when I moved to Hawaii, I just wasn't coming to church, you know. I feel like I felt like the presence of the Lord, but I just stopped going to church. And then you know, just went through some things and stuff, but like my whole life just feeling that, you know, I definitely have a calling on my life, that I just feel like I need to do something for the Lord. It's like shaky out here in Hawaii, like that's why my phone shakes a lot out here. But yeah, I just always felt like I have a calling to serve the Lord. And you know, I was always nervous to do it, always nervous to be judged, always nervous that I won't be accepted. But since being on my own and, you know, just realizing who I am, I'm just not nervous anymore. I'm not afraid of the judgment that I'm gonna get, and, you know, realize now more than ever that this is needed, that I'm needed, that what I want to do could make an impact on the world, can make an impact on people's lives. Like, even if it's just 1 or 2, 3 people, like, that is fine by me, because I made an impact, like, I helped them. And that's all I've wanted to do. I've never held any interest in going to school. All throughout high school, I'm just surprised I did graduate, because I forget what it's called, but I just never went to class. I always stayed home, or I just ditched class, or like I was just tardy all the time. Like, I just was never one for school. You know, growing up, just didn't have a lot of friends, and I got bullied a lot. Just not for my beliefs, but, you know, I'm blind in my right eye. I don't know why I had to look down at my hand just to make sure, but to make sure which eye it was, but I'm blind in my right eye, you know. And kids are mean. Kids are really mean. You know, they would call me names growing up, and just, you know, it really hurt my feelings, and I just never stepped out of my comfort zone after all of the stuff that happened to me, you know. And I went through a lot in high school, you know, broke my leg. I tried killing myself my sophomore year of high school. My dad got cancer. My dad's cancer free, but my dad got cancer. And then my junior year, I didn't really play any sports my junior year. I was still on the basketball team, but I was playing JV basketball, and I just wasn't as good as basketball as I used to be after breaking my leg. I was just so timid. And then my senior year, just lost a lot of friends for believing in the Bible. And then after my senior year, you know, got my first boyfriend, got my first, not even heartbreak, but just first breakup. And then my second boyfriend kind of was just such a toxic relationship, you know. And then after we broke up, it was still talking for a year, still hooking up for a year. And you know, but in between all of that, it was name calling, it was fighting, it was telling me that I'm not enough, telling me that I'm a whore, that I should kill myself, you know, all of that toxicity into one relationship. And then moving on to my third relationship, where as that did help me, but also at the same time, I was just nervous. I feel like I could do that because it's shaking. But I was just nervous that I just wasn't enough. And I felt like that throughout that whole relationship. I felt like, you know, he was so nice. And this is Blake. And if Blake, you're watching this, I love you. I have all love for you, my man. Oh, but you must. Oh my gosh, I don't like when big things drive by me. But Blake really helped me, and for him, I am forever grateful. For his family, I am forever grateful, because they did help me through such a tough time in my life after everything that happened with Michael, which was my second boyfriend. After everything that happened, you know, like during that period of time when I was still talking to Michael, there was a time where it was my birthday. Okay, so Michael and I, our birthdays are a week apart. Michael's a year older than I am, but our birthdays are a week apart. He's April 6th and I'm April 13th. And during the time that we broke up, you know, like I just really, I was alone on my birthday. I was alone on my birthday, and I wanted him to be there. And, you know, he kept telling me that he loved me. He was like, I love you, Kobe. I love you, you know, like typical guy and stuff. And he just kept telling me that he loved me. And I full on believed him. And then I kept asking him, and I was like, you know, please come for my birthday. Like I was living on my own at this point. I was lonely. Like I was depressed and stuff. And I was just like, at that point in my time, I was very lonely and depressed. But I also at this time, this is when I started getting into the gym. I started eating right. I started being healthy, but also at the same time, I was very depressed, and I really don't think any of my family knew I was depressed. You know, I'm like one of those people that just like doesn't show it. I don't talk about my feelings. I've just always been that type of person. No matter what I'm going through, I do not talk about how I feel. But I do now. I do talk about how I feel now. But back then, like 3 years ago, there's no way like I would talk about how I feel. So then I get into this stage of depression, and for my birthday, and I just kept asking him, and I was like, you know, please come see me, like please hang out with me, like blah blah blah. And he ended up not coming, and he ended up ignoring me, and I was just very sad, and I tried killing myself again. And I've tried 3 times. And there are certain things that I don't do in life anymore, because it does remind me of when I was sad and when I was depressed. And the big one is taking naps. And I've had this talk with a couple of people. When I nap, it just reminds me of when I was alone and when I was depressed, and it just really reminds me of that time in my life. So I really try to, if I'm tired, I'll go to bed early. I will not nap. It'll be very occasionally if I do nap. The only time I nap in my life is when I'm depressed. And it's a big reason why I hate to nap. I really hate napping. So, yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. But anyway, that was a time of where I was depressed. And, you know, like all throughout all of that, meeting Blake after Michael, like I am very truly blessed that I did meet Blake, because he made me realize what I do deserve. He made me realize a bunch of things, and then you know, we broke up. You know, I had stuff I needed to work on, and I brought not that it, you know, and it was baggage into a relationship. I just wasn't ready for a relationship, but I got into a relationship. And then Blake and I broke up. Well, he broke up with me. I was a little sad. I was a lot sad, but you know, it's life and it happens. And after Blake and I broke up, after I went through the process, you know, I started getting back into the gym. I started getting healthy, you know, and I really started loving the gym. Not that I didn't love it before, but I tend to not go to the gym when I have a boyfriend. But then I, you know, started going back to the gym, started eating right, and I really fell in love with the gym. And this is when I really fell in love with the gym. I started seeing the change it had on my body. I started seeing like the impact it had on my mind, on my health, and it made me feel so much better. It made me feel a lot better. So then as I kept going to the gym, this is when I started becoming friends with Haley at this point. Like more so friends with Haley. We were already working together, but then we started hanging out a lot more together. And Haley, she never once judged me for anything I did, and that is something that I am forever grateful for, because I've had friends judge me for my past, for what I've done, for what I've been through, and Haley never once judged me. She would call Haley, and I will stand by this, she is really the only person that can get me to drink. And it's very rare when I do drink. It is, and I do tell people a lot, like, it is very rare when I drink. So when I do drink, it's pretty special when I do drink with you, but it's very rare for me to drink. And Haley's the only person that could ever get me to drink. If we went out, we would be drinking. If we went out, we would be having fun, and she was the only person that could do that. And I trusted Haley with my life, and to this day I still do. We don't live near each other, obviously. I'm in Hawaii, she's in California, and I am very grateful, because that is somebody I needed in my life at that moment of time. Haley and I are like 2 years apart, but age doesn't really matter, because that is my best friend. That's my freaking best friend, and that is someone I'm truly grateful for, because she always kept telling me when I wanted to reach out to Blake, and she would always be like, no, like, you deserve more, Kobe, you deserve more, and stuff. And just like all these guys that I would talk to, she would just be like, why are you talking to them? You deserve more, like, you're way prettier, like, no, don't do that. And for her, I'm forever grateful. And then, so coming into Hawaii, I stopped going to church, and that was a big problem. That made me feel down. It made me feel less of myself. It just really hurt. And I'm very big on church. I'm very big on it. Like I said, I feel like I have a calling on my life. It's not that I know I have a calling on my life, because backtracking one more time, back in high school, I went to Spirit West Coast, and this is the first time I ever felt that God spoke to me. And I think I was a freshman in high school, I'm not too sure, but this is the first time that honestly, it's the first and only time I've ever felt God speak to me. I was just standing there, and I could definitely feel the presence of the Lord in that stadium, in the arena, or wherever we were at that time at Spirit West Coast, and I could just definitely feel the love of God there. And all I heard him say was ministry, and that's all I kept washing through me was ministry. And for that period of time, I was like, well, I'm gonna go into ministry. And then people would ask me what I would want to do, and I wouldn't tell him. I would not tell him. I'd be so nervous, and I'd be like, I can't tell him. Like, I'm gonna be judged. We live in such a world where you're judged for everything you do. Everything you do, you're gonna be judged for. And that's what's lame about the times we live in. Because no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, someone's gonna judge you. Someone's gonna pull up your past and say, look, you did this, so how can you be a Christian? Or you did this, how can you be a good person? And I do have all those faults. I've messed up, I'm not perfect, and I've sinned, and I've done bad things before, but it's all a work in progress. It's all been leading me up to this moment right here in my life. To this moment right here, I've done it. Like, there's some things that I still need to work on. I need to work on not getting mad so easily. That's a big thing in my life. It's not even mad, it's just I get so irritated. I get irritated at work. I get very irritated at work. Our work at my job, it's pretty hard. I know you guys see me posting and stuff and see me having like a good time, but my work, is tough. And if you've never worked on a boat before, work on a boat for at least a summer, for a month. Like, just do it and you'll see that it's pretty tough, man. So anyway, I'm on my way to work right now. Oh, I didn't want to go this way. I missed my exit because I was talking too much. Excuse me. Anyway, so no matter what we're going to be doing in this lifetime, we're going to be judged. No doubt about that. So get into this moment, get into when I come to Hawaii. I meet Brennan, and he was all telling me like I'm a Christian and blah blah blah, like I don't go to church, but I'm a Christian. And you know, like, I told him, and I point blank told him that I did not want to have sexual intercourse with him. I wanted to wait till I was married. I already lost my virginity to Michael, but I was just so heartbroken at that time when I lost my virginity, because I always told everyone, I'm waiting till marriage, I'm waiting till marriage, I'm waiting till marriage, and that stuck with me, you know. And Michael was the first person I slept with, not even my first boyfriend, my second boyfriend, but I was so heartbroken when I did that. I ended up going home and I ended up crying that night, and I was just like, why? Like, I had such a strong mind and I had such a strong will for Jesus still back then, and I did that. And then you know, coming to Hawaii, and I flat out told Brennan, we were sitting in my car and we were driving, and I was driving home, and he was coming to hang out with me at my house, and I told him straight up, and I said, I hope you're not looking for anything to have a hookup, because that's just not who I am. That's not what I want to do. And I just don't want to do that. And I broke it. And I broke that promise that I made to myself, you know? And, you know, now I'm back into that way of where I know I'm not going to do that again. And, but I broke a lot of things while dating Brennan. You know, I stopped going to church. I started drinking. I started smoking pot, and they were all things that I said I wasn't going to do anymore, and I started doing them again, you know. And then at one point in this relationship with Brennan, he just really reminded me of Michael. And I told Melissa, and I was like, you know, he just reminds me of Michael. He reminds me of Michael because I'm the one that has to apologize. I'm the one that has to be sorry all the time. I'm the one that feels bad, and yet I'm the one that just gets blamed for everything. Like, and one thing I got out of my relationship with Blake was to stop apologizing, was that I don't need to be apologizing all the time. And it really hit home with me that I realized that I kept apologizing. Even when it wasn't my fault, I kept apologizing. Even if it wasn't even a big deal, I kept apologizing. And it just, at that point, it was just bad. And then here comes December, and we got into this big argument, we got into this fight, and I told him to get out of my house. And I hope you guys know, like, this is very rare. I would not do something like this. And I straight up told Brennan, and I said, my exact words were, get the F out of my house. I do not want you here. You are not welcomed in my house. Get out. I'm done. He walked out of my house, and I kid you not, and I've never done this before, because I usually keep all my boyfriend's stuff. I keep my boyfriend's shirts, like jackets, all of that stuff. No, I kid you not. I grabbed all his stuff. I grabbed all his clothes he had at my house, and I walked out the door, and I gave them all to him, and I said, I do not want to see you ever again. But then go figure, you know, we break up. We're still talking after that. Sad little Kobe. I feel like just because I wanted that comfort, I craved that comfort, and I didn't need that. But sad little Kobe still talking to him and stuff, and then this is when I got into my stage of
usually work out in Honolulu, but today I am. But anyway, I got through this stage, and you know, I've talked about it before. This is when I made my OnlyFans. This is when I started posting more provocative photos, and you know, just something came over me. This is when I started drinking a lot more, and I was smoking a lot more at this time of my life. And this was literally in December through January. And then you know, I let myself go, and then I don't know what switched. I was just all like, you know what, my parents found out about some of the stuff I did, and that's what really hurt me. Was my mom was all like, you know, we're not even mad or anything. My mom was just basically like, we're not mad, we're just very disappointed, you know, we're disappointed you would do something like this, you know. And all she kept telling me, all of my mom, and this is why I love my mom, this is why, like, my mom's one of the most godly woman I know. And my mom just kept telling me, and she was like, you are loved. So like, she was like, you don't need to do that. Like, you are loved by the Most High. You are a daughter of the one true King. And you know, my mom she just kept telling me that. She just kept telling me, you're loved, Kobe, you're loved. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. And then I stopped. I deleted my accounts. I deleted all that provocative photos of myself, and I don't even post provocative photos of myself anymore, you know? I mean, I posted a bikini picture, but it wasn't provocative, and I called my mom up and I go, so are you proud of me that I didn't post my butt anywhere? Because she would get on me about posting my booty. And, but yeah, and then ever since then I was like, well, I need to go to church, and I just couldn't find a right church for me. And then these past couple of weeks, actually, you know what? I said, I need to find a church. I need to find a church. And I looked at churches near me, and I looked at this and saw this Inspire Church, and that's where I've been going. And I've had a couple of people in my life, you know, they've prayed over me already. You know, they come up to me and they tell me, and they go, I feel like this fire burning sensation. And I've had a couple of people tell me this, and they tell me that I'm on fire for Jesus, which I am. I am so on fire for the Lord. But when people say that to me, and I just feel it again. And when people tell me that, it's game over. It's like, oh yes, like I have a purpose. I have a purpose in this life. And when people tell me that, I've had a couple of guys tell me that from church. They were praying over me, and as they're praying over me, all they kept saying is, wow, Kobe, I can feel the love. I can feel how much the Lord loves you. I can feel how much He has planned for you in your life. And it just makes me tear up sometimes, but also it makes me so joyful because he does have a plan for my life. I know He does, and yet I forget that. It's not even that I forget that, it's just that I push it away. I push it away because I am so nervous of being judged. I am so nervous of being feared. I am so nervous of failure. That is what I'm most nervous about. I am nervous about failure. I am nervous about saying the wrong thing, and yet I make these videos and I never post them. I make all these videos and I never post them because I am too scared to do that. But I've realized I can't do that anymore, you know? I truly believe that, you know what, my pastor said yesterday in service, we're in the end of times, which we are. I fully believe that we are in the end of times. You know, we may not know when, we may not know the exact date, we may not know. It could be 5 years, 10 years, 30, 40, 50, 100 years from now, but we are close to the end of times. And people need to be saved. People need to hear the word. People need to realize that this was all planned out. That not even planned out, this was talked about in the Bible. Everything that we have gone through is something that was already put into Revelation, something that God already foresaw that we're going through right now. It's the end of times. In the end of times, you know, I've told people this, and I fully believe, you know, we're in crisis mode. People don't know what to do. People don't know how to react, and yet everything that we've gone through, you know, they were talking about yesterday how you know, a lot of us just don't even watch the news anymore, which I can say is I do not watch the news anymore. I don't keep up with politics. I don't keep up with the news. But I should, because I should see what's going on around me, because I don't know anything about what's going on around me in the world today. I don't know anything, because our pastor was talking about some things that have happened in Korea, that has happened in Israel, and just big stuff that is coming into play that could set off another war. And yet I'm not paying attention to any of it because I'm not. Because I keep telling myself I don't want to look into it, I don't need to. But yet I think we should all be keeping up to date with that stuff, you know? But a lot of us just don't even trust those news sites anymore, because we don't. Oh my gosh, I am so going off subject right here. I was gonna talk about my testimony, and I just started telling you guys a bunch of different stuff. Geez Louise, Kobe. I don't know. I'm gonna pray, and I'm gonna close it out at this. And this is a almost 30-minute video where I said I wanted this to be short, but I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna close it out, and hopefully I post this on my YouTube channel. Hopefully I have enough courage to post this on my YouTube channel. I hope you guys see this. I hope I do post this. I'm giving myself some motivation to post this. I can't really close my eyes when I pray because I'm kind of driving on the freeway, but I'm still gonna pray. All right, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I just thank you for today. I thank you for tomorrow, and I thank you for yesterday, for every person that you have brought into my life, for every person that's going to come into my life, and for every person that has been in my life that is no longer in my life, Lord. I just pray for them. I pray for everyone. I pray that, you know, I touch them, or you touch them through me, and Lord, and I just pray that your presence, that they just feel your presence, Lord, that no matter what they're going through, that the valley that they're walking through, Lord, I just pray that you give them strength, that you give them comfort, that they are seen, that they are heard, Lord, that, you know, if they're feeling that sickness, if they're feeling that darkness in them today, they're feeling the tiredness, the loneliness, Lord, we know that that is not you. We know that that is the devil, Lord. That is the devil. That is the enemy. That is the enemy trying to attack them, Lord. So I pray over everyone that is watching this. I pray for everyone that sees this. I pray that you guys stand up. You guys stand firm. You guys stand tall, because the Lord is with you. The Lord will not forsake you, for you are a child of God. For you are loved. For you are beloved. For you have a purpose. You have a purpose, and I just don't want you to forget that. I don't want you to forget that, because in this lifetime, you are a child of the Most High. You are precious. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved by the All High. And I pray that you see that. Amen. This is a good song. Yes, he did. So yes, he can. So yes, he can.
Yes, he did. Yes, he can.
This is K-Love Music.
All right. You guys have a great week. Rock it, kill it. Reach out to me if you guys ever need anything. But stay blessed.